Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Naomi and let's dream about beauty. In today's video, I have for you 3 looks and 1.5 palettes. Today we are going to be using the brand new Norvina Pro Pigment Palette Volume 4. So if you're interested in seeing how I got this look plus 2 other looks, then just keep on watching. Alright, so let's get started. 3 looks, 1 palette. This is the first look. And I'm going to go in with this shade C4. It's the light purple, the sort of lavender lilac color. I'm going to put that in my crease with the JH32. Tap it off. So this is not a first impression because I filmed a video yesterday, first impression yesterday, but unfortunately my audio was really messed up. But I discovered the reason for it and I put the battery in my microphone backwards. So yeah, when you do that, your microphone's not going to work. So yeah, so the audio was terrible. So anyhow, had to scrap that video, and so now I thought I would do a 1 palette 3 looks. So my impressions yesterday were that it is a beautiful palette. It's a little bit intimidating, and the colors blend like a dream. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the color A3, which is the bright pink. I'm going to take that with the JH34. I'm just going to go back to the JH32 and blend that out. Now I'm going to go in with a mixture of C4 and back to the lilac shade. And I'm going to take that on a smaller brush and put it in my outer corner. Tap it off. And I'm just going to go in with the E4 shade all by itself, which was the sort of darker shade. Okay, so that's what we're looking like. Now I'm going to go in with the shade A2, the shimmer metallic, and I'm going to spray it. Since I used this yesterday, I know that I would prefer it sprayed. This is, I think, meant to be more of a topper, so you have to spray it to get that kind of opacity that you want. But it is a beautiful color. Alright, now I'm going to go under my eyes with the E4. Just very slightly. Oops. And then I'm going to blend that out with the C4. Sorry, when I'm doing my bottom lash line, I tend to get out of camera frame because I'm trying to look in my mirror. Okay, so I am just going to go off camera to do the rest, and I will be right back to show you what the finished look looks like. Okay, so here we are with the finished look for look 1. It's a nice purpley pinky color. I think it looks really pretty. I am very happy with it. And now we move on to look number 2. Alright, so now we're ready to start again with look number 2. I just removed look number 1. So if I have any eyeshadow glue on my eyelashes, that's why. Okay, so I'm going to start out with A2, which is this shade right here. And I'm going to use my color switch on my brush. And start in my crease, transition area. Oh, it's quite a bit more pink than I thought it would be. Going back and forth, just blending that out. Just doing the Viennese waltz on my eyelid, as Angie from 4F Beauty likes to say. Of course, I have no idea how to do the Viennese waltz. In high school, when we took social dancing in gym, in phys ed, I had to be a boy because we didn't. Hence, I am a terrible dancer because, sorry, I have something in my eye. Because I learned all the boys' parts in social dance, I'm a terrible dancer. Because I always want to lead when I dance. That doesn't really work out very well. So I need to dance with a man who has a really strong lead. And then I'm better. But if the man I'm dancing with doesn't have a strong lead, then I try to take over. Which is, I'm not gonna say that. Oh my gosh. I was thinking, oh my god. I can't stop laughing. I'm not saying that's true for the rest of my life. I only try to take over the important things. Well, I don't try, I do. Okay, so that blended out really nicely actually, I don't mind that. Okay, so now I'm going to go in again with the color E4. Sorry to repeat shades, but sort of the deepest shade in here, so that would be one of my complaints about this palette, is that there is a lack of depth. I'm using the JH34 now. I'm just going to tap that into my onto the corner of my lid as well. I'm just using a combination of packing, like tapping it into place, and blending. I have to get a clean blending brush and blend out the tiger striping I have here in the corner of my eye from where the eyeshadow skips over my little baby eye wrinkles. Okay, so that's what we're looking like so far. I'm impressed with them. There's like very little fallout to no fallout with this palette. So that's impressive. I'm going to take another clean blending brush and I'm just going to go over the edges. Which, if you don't use a fade shade, is a good idea to do. Just to use a clean brush and then blend that out. Sorry, I got remnants of my first look in my eyelids. Oh well. Such is life. Okay, so now I'm going to go in, let's see. with the color, sorry, it's D4 right here on my lid. And I haven't used this one before, so I'm just gonna go in and see. Yeah, I'm going to spray it. Sorry, I'm slouching. Being a sloucher. That is a beautiful color, D4. Just look at that, wowzers. Okay, so just going to run the E4 underneath my eye. Oops. You probably don't want to be looking at my hair when I'm doing that. I'm just going to blend that out. Okay. So I will do my eyeliner and stuff, and I'll be back to show you the finished look. Okay, so welcome back. This is the finished look. I used my Ofra highlighter, the glazed donut, in right up here and in there, and some black liner in my waterline, tight lined mascara, lashes, and this is the finished look. Okay, so now on to look 3. Okay, so now we're back with look number 3, and I'm going to use the shade A4, which is this one right here, through my transition area, and I'm using the Sigma E40. So my thoughts on this palette are that there are some beautiful colors, some beautiful shimmers and metallics, but if I was going to use this palette a lot, I would use a companion palette with it. And the reason for that is I am struggling with the color story, and I can't necessarily blame the palette. I just maybe blame my own experience with not having the eye to see what particular shades go together well. So a lot of experimentation is probably necessary, but to avoid that step, I probably would just bring in, you know, like for example, for myself, I find that with my eye shape, to darken up the crease there is really, not the crease, sort of the outer corner. So I really like to deepen this area up, and I find that's what's most flattering for my eye shape, as opposed to like doing sort of the, you know, I mean, even with a halo eye or spotlight eye, whatever you'd like to call it, you need the deeper colors. And so I just am finding this palette is really lacking depth. It's also lacking light tones. So you have mostly mid-tones. There aren't a lot of really light colors, and there aren't a lot of really dark colors. And I guess that's a little bit why I'm struggling, because I generally like to have a fade shade, and I don't have a fade shade. And I don't have those deep colors that I like. So yeah, that's why I feel like I'm struggling a little bit. I mean, there were, you know, like sort of the first two looks that I did are pretty obvious when you open up the palette, and you can see that, you know, the purpley look, and then there's the burgundy look, pink look, but yeah. So anyhow, I'm just going to go in with the shade D1 right here. Just want to try blending it with what I already put down and see what happens. So this is attempt 4. I had to abort halfway through. Abort mission halfway through look 3, because it just really wasn't turning out and it was getting muddy. So I grabbed some clean brushes, some different brushes. I don't use my color switch very often, so okay, so I'm just going to go in with a clean blending brush, and I'm just going to blend out the edge there. This is where I'd love to have like a light brow bone color, just to fade out this particular brown shade. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this color B5, and I'm going to put that in my outer corner and up into the crease. I'm going to use a small blending brush. This is a blue set from Morphe, but it doesn't have a number on it. And it looks like, you know, it would be quite dark, but it's going on quite light. go back in with a clean blending brush. I'm really struggling. I'm on the struggle bus right now. My eyes are watering. I'm just using my fingers now. I think I'm just going to use the Amrezy palette, and I'm going to grab the black shade in there just to deepen up the outer edge here. Actually, maybe 1980. I'll try 1988 and see how that does. That's this shade right here. I guess I'll have to call this 3 looks, 1.5 palettes. So I think that the quality of the shadows is excellent. It's just a color story that I probably am not loving. And I'm just going to use some of that black as well, I think, to deepen up the corner even more. In some ways I feel a little defeated that I wasn't able to pull off 3 full looks using that palette, using the Norvina palette. But I guess it seems silly to do a look that you're unsatisfied or dissatisfied with, just for the sake of being stubborn. It's funny because so you can see that I'm getting a lot more follow than that's using these colors from the Amrezy palette. I just think that looks terrible. Like it's just so patchy right here. I don't know if that's because I've just been doing too much with my eyes or exactly what. Well, my battery's blinking at me, so I better change it. Okay, so I changed the battery and I messed around a bit with this look because it was failing hard. And anyhow, so I'm back to continue with what I have been doing. So I cleaned up the fallout and reapplied my concealer, and then I went in with a shimmer on that side, so I will show you. I went in with the B1 right here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 shimmers in here. Well, 3 in particular that all, whoops, look quite a bit alike. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're pretty, it's a pretty color. Now I'm just going to use my Ofra glazed donut and highlight. And I'm just going to bring that up onto the lid a little bit, just to brighten up that corner a lot, like so. Well, I think that that is as good as we are going to get. So I am going to finish off, and I will be back to show you the finished look. Okay, so here we are with the finished look of look 3. Kind of a neutral look, and I now have a terrible headache and my eyes hurt after 3 looks in a row, but that's okay because it was fun. My final thoughts on the Norvina Volume 4 palette are that it is extremely good quality. All of the shadows blend itself. I think that part of my problems with it are, well, number one, I think that the range of shadows is lacking, which makes it difficult for people like myself who depend on certain types of shadows, like sort of that brow bone shade or darker shades to deepen up the corner. So that's, you know, how I tend to always do my looks, and so I struggle if I don't have that, which is why I had to bring in another palette. And there is a little bit of repetition in the palette. I would have liked to have seen, you know, a little bit more diversity. There's, you know, 4 different golden / bronzy shades, shimmers, that all kind of, they don't look exactly the same, but they translate onto the eyes pretty similarly. And I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more different colors there. And it's certainly not beginner friendly. It's difficult to, there are a few, you know, I struggled with the 3rd look. I was trying to do, you know, 2 bright looks and then sort of a neutral look, and I definitely struggled, especially with the 3rd look. But that might have been my own fault. It might be because my eyes are tired and bleary from, you know, too much makeup. It could be that my brushes just weren't working as good anymore because I'd been using them. I don't really know. But anyhow, overall, I like the palette. I don't regret that I bought it, and I'm looking forward to getting to know it better. But as I mentioned in the video, I definitely will be... How come you're home? How come you're home?
Because they're done at work, they went golfing.
Oh, I see.
They sent me home.
Oh. So anyhow, time is our most precious resource, and when you spend a few hours of your, time is our most precious resource, and when you spend some of your time with me, I really appreciate it. I hope that wherever in the world you are, that you're I hope wherever in the world you are that you're healthy, that you're happy, that you're well. I want to thank you for coming by and checking out my content. I hope that you will consider subscribing. I hope that you will consider liking and activating the notification bell and commenting down below. I'm filming! And that's it from me for today. Take care and bye-bye. I feel like those two colors I put on first went really muddy on me, and I don't know if it's because my brush wasn't totally clean. But I am not liking the way this is looking at all.